Shares in Orla Mining have been doing okay this year. They're up more than 30%. The company just reported first quarter earnings and it beat on the profit front and on all-in costs. Now, Orla, not so long ago, bought a company called Contact Gold to expand its footprint in Nevada, and has another potential catalyst here in the form of Mexico's forthcoming presidential election. If the Obrador government is kicked out of office, that could be good for miners because the Obrador administration has not been seen as friendly to the industry when it comes to granting new permits and things like that. We're joined by Jason Simpson, CEO of Orla Mining. Great. Thanks very much for seeing you.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for having a conversation with me about Orla.
So you are a veteran of the industry, then you were Chief Operating Officer at Torex Gold, and then you headed up Voisey's Bay, did you, for Inco/Vale?
I did. It's embarrassing to say I'm approaching 30 years in the industry, but it's been a good 30 years, and I started in the base metal side of the business, transitioned to gold in 2013, as you correctly pointed out, starting with a company called Torex Gold. Permitted, financed, and constructed that mine, and it's an excellent mine to this day. Transitioned to Orla Mining in 2018, and it's been in a great run for the last 5 years.
So Orla's not a huge company, production maybe 120,000 ounces this year, and it's all from this Camino Rojo property in Mexico.
That's right. What I often like to point out to people is the profit margin of that Camino Rojo oxide mine. Although it's a 120,000 ounce a year producer, we produce over $100 million in free cash flow a year. So it's one of the lowest cost gold mines in the world. Yeah,
but sorry, your all-in cost this year could be below $900, I believe.
Yeah, our current guidance is $875 to $975, and we know that we could be on the lower end of that guidance if things go well this year. And frankly, because we're expanding the mine in Mexico right now, that's actually higher than normal. So, you know, we retain our position as one of the lowest cost gold mines in the world, and that results in tremendous free cash flow generation that we can use to grow the business.
And so right now you have a nice simple heap leach oxide operation in Mexico, but what are you doing? Are you going underground at the property?
Well, what I would offer is the company was designed in a certain way. We intended to start the company based on past successes with oxide heap leach gold projects. Some of our board, including Chuck Jeunesse, began Glamis Gold on oxide heap leaches in Nevada. Tim Haldane helped Agnico grow their company with oxide heap leaches in Mexico. So that was part of the design. And before we go underground in Mexico, we'd likely do a replica mine with our asset in Nevada. So we were able to acquire another oxide gold heap leach project with similar low costs that we would build next. And the combination of those two low-cost gold mines could transition us into the next leg of growth, which will likely begin with a larger underground sulfide project in Mexico.
In Mexico, how much would that cost roughly to build?
Yeah, so we've just begun the engineering process to design that, but a mine of that scale, as we conceive of it now, will be over $500 million. A typical oxide heap leach mine, like the one we just constructed in Mexico and the next one in Nevada, ranges about $200 million.
They're lovely and simple.
Yeah, simple and very profitable, which helps grow a company, and that's how Glamis eventually took over Goldcorp, and that's how Agnico built a lot of their strength in Quebec.
Now, you have a foothold in Panama, a development project there. It's not a big part of your net asset value, according to the analysts anyway, but that thing is on hold for the moment?
It is. And again, consistent with our approach, it's another oxide gold heap leach, so a very profitable mine. But considering the circumstances in Panama last year, we've suspended all investment in Panama and begun an arbitration process to pursue a legal recuperation of some of the value in the country. We remain open to dialogue with the new Panamanian government about a resolution that serves the best interests of all stakeholders.
So you did, on the call today, you talked about how the current administration, it's been tough for the industry to work with them.
Yeah.
So if there's a new government comes in, would that speed up the permitting process on your Mexican growth?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that the current administration has slowed down our ambitions for growth growth in Mexico through the permitting requirements. We are hopeful that the next administration takes a more positive view to all industries, including mining, to enable us to grow our investment in the nation and create that kind of benefit to all our local communities and to the taxes we pay. For example, in the last quarter alone, we paid $19 million in taxes to the federal government of Mexico.
You have a degree in physics as well as a degree in mining and petroleum.
Yeah.
What do you think when you hear all this hype over copper? Do you think it's overstated?
Well, as I mentioned, I began my career in the base metals side of the industry. You mentioned my time at Voisey's Bay, which was the culmination of that. Many of my friends are still in the base metal business. I just heard you speak about Capstone copper. So I think that copper is an important part of the future of our world. And I think that, like many elements, we're going to need more of it to sustain the kind of lifestyle and future that we want to create. So copper is going to be a very important part. In some of our portfolio, we have copper exposure, but we are focused on precious metals at this point in time.
I was just looking at your stock. It has done well this year. It's outperformed over 5 years. But I think if maybe we could put up a 5-year chart. Actually, around late last year, it started underperforming the gold index, but it has beaten the index over the past year and 5 years. Why did the stock kind of take a pause for a while? Yeah,
over a 5-year period, we're very proud of the value that we've created. Over 400% return for our investors. Last year, you will recall the circumstance in Panama, and the fact that we have an exploration asset in that nation certainly affected us as well. Once turned over the leaf to the new year, and we were able to explain to people that we had ceased investment there and to focus on the cash-generating asset we have in Mexico and our growth prospects in Nevada, we began to regain some of the lead position we have in value return for our investors.
Would you consider buying another company at this stage?
Well, the first thing I point out in the M&A question is we have lots to work on inside the company. So most of our team is focused on growing first in Nevada, and then in Mexico, and then perhaps back in Nevada and elsewhere. To the M&A question, could be part of that calculus. What we'll be looking for is if we find the right quality asset that we can add value for all of our investors, we'll certainly transact. And we have a history of doing that, but being very considerate in doing so.
Am I right in thinking Agnico has a bit more than 10% of the company and Pierre Lassonde has another 10% or so? Yeah,
we're very fortunate to have the shareholder roster that we have. It's comprised of important individuals like Pierre Lassonde that you mentioned, who was one of the founding investors of the company, as well as Prem Watsa from Fairfax, and additionally, major institutions that are important in our industry are also invested in Orla, Franklin, Fidelity, and so on. And then you have large companies like Newmont and Agnico. And what I'd offer is...
Oh, they own a stake.
They do, yeah. And so they're in our top 5. And what I'd offer is that all of our investors are very satisfied with the value that we've created for them. But each investor has their own priorities. For individuals like the two I mentioned and institutions, their priority is long-term value creation. Certainly for the two companies, long-term value creation is appreciated, but there's a prospect at some point that they would take over Orla or some of its assets. All of them have been very supportive to us in the early days, financing the company, and more recently adding market credibility and support.
Jason, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Jason Simpson, President and CEO of Orla Mining. The Close will be right back after this short break.